This webinar is being recorded.
All right, so I'll be starting the webinar soon. I'll be talking about how to get your next 100 sales. Just give me a minute or so. I have to set this up also on the laptop as well. So in the next few minutes, I'll be starting. All right, so take a note. I'm sharing some materials. So for those of you that are attending the webinar directly, they'll be able to view and follow where exactly I am in the presentation. Right. Okay. So, all right, let's just give it 1 minute and see who else is coming on. And at that point, we'll get started. For those that are already here, my name is Kenneth Ntende, and this webinar is about how to get your next 100 sales as quickly as possible. I'm sharing this both on TikTok and as a webinar directly. So if you're interested in that, just hold up for 1 minute or two so that we let a couple more people join in, and then we'll get started. So we'll get started in exactly a minute from now. Okay, so let's get started. Now, my name is Kenneth Ntende, and this webinar is going to be talking about how to get your next 100 sales as quickly as possible. It's going to be the most realistic guide on the internet, and it's going to focus exclusively to people who are mostly startup business owners and mid-sized companies just that are trying to figure out, you know what exactly do I do to acquire my next 100 sales? What do I need to do as effectively as possible? It looks obvious, but over the last couple of months, I've met over 300, 400 business owners, and somehow, many people have not figured this out. So in this video, we'll be taking you through quite a bit, and For those that are attending the webinar, you can at least follow up using the guide that is in the presentations. And for those that are on TikTok or YouTube, you could as well just follow up. At least it will show you step by step of what to do next and how to proceed. All right. So in a nutshell, this webinar is literally targeted. How do you get your next 100 sales? In this webinar, we'll be talking about things like, number one, get to understand the mathematics behind the 100 sales, meaning what exactly do I need to do in order to be able to acquire the next 100 sales? Number two, how do I create enough opportunity as realistically as possible based on the data that I have? Number three, how do I begin managing the scale that is coming in? Because we're going to talk numbers like you're getting 500 leads, you're getting 1,000 leads. So how do you make sure everyone is continuously engaged and receiving relevant information to them? So the webinar is going to take about 30 minutes, and it's literally going to be a deep dive into what exactly do I need to do to acquire my next 100 sales. Most importantly, as point number 4 and 5, we'll be talking about how do you visualize, because at some point you have to get some analytics and know that, you know what, here's what's working for me, here's what's not working for me. So I'll also show you how to go about getting these analytics. And number 5, I'll also take you through some of the tools that you can use as you're tracking your step-by-step guide towards the 100 number. Most importantly, we're going to try and compact this so that this number can properly be achieved within a month. At worst, 2 months. But my target is, if you can do this step by step, you would be able to achieve 100 sales within the first month that you begin doing this. Now, just to give you a bit of context, my name is Ntende Kenneth, and over the past 8 years, I've been exclusively in the world of sales. The beauty about me is I have had the chance to sell to Europe, I've had the chance to sell to America, and I've had the chance to sell to Africa, meaning I have a lot more context on how do you sell to the world, because the way you sell to Africans is a bit different from the way you sell to the people in Turkey, and it's a bit different from the way you sell to the people in the UK. So the beauty is I've had the chance to sell to all these categories of people. So it has given me a lot more context on how best to sell. That's number one. And number two, which is most important, I've had the chance to scale teams where you're selling to not 10, not 20, but 100, 500, 1K people. So the experiences you get through that journey give you a whole lot more context of, you know what I need to sell to my first 10 people is a whole lot different from what I need to sell to my next 500 people. So yes, and the fact that I've gone through that just gives me a lot of context of how best to help you grow your business as well. This webinar is sponsored by MonkeyPesa. MonkeyPesa is an all-in-one software for sales, marketing, and customer support. And I also happen to be its founder. So it's currently being trusted by about 600 different businesses across the world. And many of these are in Africa. They come from different industries. There are banks that are using our infrastructure. There are fintechs that are using our infrastructure. There are healthcare companies that are using our infrastructure. And e-commerce companies and other tech companies as well. It's a bit diverse, but it's ideally a tool intended to help with your sales and your marketing overall. Yes. Now, with that introduction, let's dive straight in. And the first thing we're going to do is we've set our targets this time around, that our target is we want to achieve 100 sales. Now, in order to do this, the first thing we need to do is we need to understand the mathematics that you need in order to achieve these 100 sales. Now, I'm going to give you two contexts. Context number one is in the perspective of the B2B business, meaning if you're a business that is selling to other businesses. And context number two is if you have a consumer product, whether it's skincare, whether it's a normal service, you're selling shoes, you're selling anything as ordinary as possible. So now let me start with the B2B. Now, the way the B2B environment works is a bit different from the way the B2C environment works. When you're selling to businesses, the process is different. You approach a business, you introduce your idea. Take an example, we sell CRM software and marketing automation software. So when we approach those organizations, the first thing we do is we'll talk to the sales manager and help him understand why this is valuable to him, or the marketing manager, or either the sales or the marketing manager, get pitching our value proposition. But we know that that conversation doesn't stop there. Now he probably has to engage the CEO and tell him how this is going to be valuable to the company overall and how it's going to help the whole organization grow as a whole. So that is probably week 2. After week 3, maybe they may need to engage finance to even validate if the funds are there. So usually when you're selling to B2B, the numbers look a little bit different. In most scenarios, you'll get anywhere between 5% to 20% success rate. The 5% is if you honestly don't have a good sales team in place. And the 20% is if you have guys who are really, really spot on and they understand what they're doing. Their conversion rate is about 20%. Meaning, in order for you to get, say, for example, 100 sales, depending on how good your sales team is, you might need either 1,000 leads in order. If you have a shitty sales team, this is to be honest, you might need about 1,000 leads in order to get 100 people. Now, if your sales team is much better, if you have a team that is trained, a team that knows what they're doing, and a team that has the tools to help them do their work, then you will need a less number. Say hypothetically, at 20% conversion, you will need about 500 leads. Now, a lead is someone who has come in and literally inquired about your service, or someone you've reached out to and said, you know what, this is what we do. So you can say that, you know what, in every given month, you need 1,000 or 500 leads, depending on the context of how good your sales team. But this is exclusively for the B2B world. Now, if you're in the B2C ecosystem, B2C means if you have a product that you're selling to consumers, something like I'm selling shoes, or I'm selling birthday gifts, or I'm selling anything that's straightforward, usually your conversion is much better. It tends to be anywhere between 20 and 50%, meaning of every, say, 100 leads, you anticipate to get anywhere between 20 and 50 sales. I mean, because your product is obvious. You tell people I'm selling shoes, it's relatively straightforward. So there's nothing much that someone needs to understand about it. So usually when you acquire leads, because the leads are coming in on grounds of something that's obvious, the sales cycle is a lot easier. Meaning for you to get 100 sales, you need, if your product is a bit, of course, hard and not good, you will need a few more leads. Hypothetically, you need about 500 leads. But if your product is okay, straightforward, everything is okay, then in that scenario, you would need about 200 to 300 leads. Now, yes, I'm talking 200, 300. Don't be overwhelmed. Those are very small numbers. I'm kind of going to break it down for you so that you understand that it's even possible to get 2,000, 3,000 leads within a month. It's just a matter of understanding what do I need to do to get to that number. So the purpose of this is just to get you to understand. I don't want you to have it in the perspective in your mind to think that maybe I'm going to get 10 people, and out of these 10 people, I'm going to get 10. No, I want you to be as realistic as possible, and you understand that, you know what, of every 10 people, I'm only going to get this given percentage. So in order for me to get 100, here is how much work I need to do, so that even you understand what exactly you need to do to achieve the goals. Otherwise, I see so many scenarios. I talk to business owners and you ask them, so tell me how many people have you started conversations with this month? And the guys are like, we've talked to 20 people. Realistically, with 20 people, how much value do you expect? No wonder you're getting 2-3 sales and complaining how your economy doesn't have money. But it stems from you, first of all, not understanding how much work is required. And 2, not understanding that sales is literally a percentage game. All I do is get this number of people and I'm going to convert this percentage of that number. So yes, in a nutshell, that's how the mathematics of sales works. If you're in B2B, anticipate that, you know what, I might need about 500 leads in order to get 100 sales. If you're in the world of B2C, B2C, that's you're selling a consumer product, understand that I may need around 300, 400 leads in order to acquire my 100 leads. Question number 2 becomes, now, how do I acquire these leads? Yes, you've told me I need 500 people, but where are they going to come from? What exactly are they going to, where am I going to get them from? And in the next segment, if you stick with me, that is what exactly we are going to address. Okay, so how do we create the opportunity? Now, for those of you that are attending the webinar, the truth be told, I'm going to just be showing them a live demo of what exactly to do, where to go. Then for those that are attending on TikTok or YouTube, you may not get the chance to actually properly interact. Actually, for those on YouTube can see what exactly I'm showing. So if you want to check out the YouTube channel to see the demos that I'm doing on the laptop, you can check my YouTube channel. It's available on my TikTok account. Just follow up. It's going on like right now. All right. Now, let's start with the B2B world. I have been in B2B for such a long time, and because it gives me a bit more of a challenge, I love challenging things and getting them out of the way. So let me start with the B2B world. We have said we need 500 leads. Step number 1 is yes, in order to get 500 leads, what do we need to do? That's our first question. Let's get the number. Let's say we have 5 days a week and we have 4 weeks. Those are 20 days. Now, in order to get 500 leads, we just have to divide 500 by the 20 days. That means, on average, that's about 25 leads a day. Now, if you're in B2B, say hypothetically you're 1 or 2 salespeople, that means the 2 of you combined, all you need to do is talk to 12 people a day. 13, let me say 13, just to add that redundancy. So let's say you have to talk to 13 people a day. Truth be told, talking to 13 people is the easiest thing to do after you listen to me on the next step. Some people are going to ask me, so how do I now get to these 13 people? Now, I'm going to recommend 2 channels. When you're in B2B sales, I'm not going to recommend you running ads, because running B2B ads are extremely expensive. Decision makers most times may not come through ads. So the way you're going to do that, you're going to have to pass the direct sales route, whereby you're literally calling people in and reaching out to them and saying, do you know what? Can I schedule a demo with you? Because say hypothetically you're selling to a bank or you're selling to a microfinance, there's no way you're going to advertise enough to get all decision makers to come to you. So you're going to need to pass exclusively in the sales route. Now, when you're passing the sales route, the first question you're going to say, now I need to talk to people. Where am I going to find the people to talk to? I don't have that many connections. Now, here are the 2 tools that you can use. I'm going to share right here on my screen, so you can follow up with me. I'm just sharing my screen. Give me a second. Okay. All right. So for those of you that are with me on YouTube, you can still follow up right here. So the first place you can go to get free unlimited number. Keep in mind that all you're looking for, so we're using this case scenario of your 2 sales reps. Now you're looking for 500 leads a month. Now to get these 500 leads, all we need 12 people, 13 people per sales rep. Now the first place you can go to is, say hypothetically you're selling to NGOs. So I can just say, for example, NGOs, this is on Google, in say for example Uganda. This is the first option. This is the option number 1. Now the beauty about Google is, so hypothetically I'm selling to these NGOs. The moment I search for that, it brings me a ton of NGOs. And for those that are following me on YouTube and the webinar itself, you can see that each of these gives you a phone number, it gives you a website, it gives you a location. So you as a salesperson, the first step you could say is, man, let's first use Google as a channel. And as we're using Google, my target for each day is 13 calls. So begin by going to get the first number and get the phone number in here, right here. begin making the phone calls and said, you know what, so and so, my name is so and so. I'd like to introduce this and this. By the way, if you need help learning how to sell or scripting or making these phone calls, honestly, feel free to reach out to me at any point in time. I will help you a ton. So first of all, practice how you're going to make these phone calls. Then come and begin getting these phone numbers. This is just using an example of NGOs. Huh? That's number one. The second number is this one. Those are two. There's the third number. You'll begin scrolling, and here's the third number. Here is the fourth number. So it's very easy to get the 12 contacts. So as long as you know what you need to say, this is one of the platforms that you could use to actually acquire your 12, 13 contacts. And you'll notice that within an hour, you'll be done making all the preliminary phone calls. Now, here's one thing you need to understand. As you're making these phone calls, that's why I gave you the number. We are looking for 500 people. We know that of these people we are calling, some of them are not going to be interested. Some of them are going to say, you know what? I don't like what you're offering, or I'm not interested. Some of them are going to say I'm not around. Some of them are not going to pick up. That's why you give yourself the leeway that, you know what? Yes, I'm looking for 13 contacts, or in total as a team, we're looking for 26 phone numbers today alone. But of these 26, we only anticipate about 2 or 3 to respond to us positively. You get? That gives you the freedom to do a lot where you're now not on pressure. Even if you call customer number 1 and they're like, no, so it's okay. Customer number 2 is like, first wait, I'm not around, I'm not in the country, but give me a call next month. Record that somewhere in your CRM. You call customer number 4 like that, slowly by slowly. Keep in mind that don't overwhelm yourself. Like I said, to get 500, look, just when you mention the number, it looks like a huge number. But to be honest, the moment you break it down into small chunks, you notice that first wait, I can actually do 13 phone calls. All I need to know is where I'm going to get these phone calls. So this is option number 1, Google. The thing with Google, however, it kind of gives you many general numbers. As an example, if you're looking for circles, you can say, I want circles Uganda. It brings you so many of them. Yeah, but here is one disclaimer you need to know. Google in some scenarios brings you very public contacts. As an example, if you call a bank, you're not going to get a number of any decision maker. Now, the second platform you could use is the Monkey Pesa prospecting tool. We have a new product that's coming up. It has a ton of contacts, business contacts. Ideally, what would happen is all you would do is search. This is launching actually next week. So if you're interested in test running this, all you do is search any company. And when you search for that company, just like here, we'll kind of bring you a list of what the company details are, what their website is, where they are located. And most importantly, we bring you a list of the decision makers within that organization. So as an example, this is still in development, but it's going live like next week, and we have over 1 million records that we're starting with. So it will give you their emails, it will give you their phone numbers, and you'll be able to start conversations. You'll be able to start conversations from right within the platform. So if your company has a bit of funds to spare and you're looking for B2B business owners, then this would be the better place to be, because it's not like Google, which just gives you a phone number, probably of the office phone. This kind of digs deeper and says, you know what? You're searching for a company XYZ. In this company, here is who the decision makers are: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And each of these decision makers, this is their email, this is their phone number. So it gives you a whole lot more power than any other platform. So if you have a bit of money to spend, it's honestly going to be affordable. The smallest package is about $19, and it's launching next week. By Wednesday of next week, it's going to be readily available. So that is the second option of how you can do B2B prospecting. To be honest, when it comes to B2B, I don't want to lie to you. Do not run ads, because I have run ads, but they tend to be more expensive. Even Google knows that you're trying to reach out to decision makers. LinkedIn knows you're trying to reach out to decision makers. So they make those adverts extremely expensive. That's why you notice a normal click on LinkedIn is going to cost you $2-3. And unless you have raised money and you have a large budget, that's when you can go ahead and pursue that route of advertising on LinkedIn, because it only makes sense when you have a ton of money. But if you don't, I would actually recommend just reach out to the businesses, get the phone numbers, tell people and call them and tell them, you know what, I want to introduce with you. Can you give me 5 minutes? You would be shocked how often I'd call a manager of a bank or the head of sales, and in 2 minutes I have got a phone call. Number one, I have got a meeting, and I meet them without any hassle whatsoever. So yes, it's a much better route when you're in the world of B2B. So that's how you go ahead and prospect. Don't forget our mathematics, like we talked about before. We are looking for 500 leads, but of the 500 leads, all we want is just 100. Why we're looking for 500 is because at the back of our minds, we know that no matter what, we cannot just sell to two. We cannot just talk to two people and expect enough opportunity to have come our way. That's why I'm saying talk to a large enough number of people, that is a total of about 13 people per sales rep a day. And at the end of the day, even of those 13 we're talking to, all we want is probably 3 or 4 to take positive action to what we're doing. Yeah? That's what you'll do to end up getting much better results when it comes to the world of B2B. All right, so by the way, if anyone has any questions, I'm going to respond to all the queries. Just drop them into the Q&A. If you're on YouTube, I'll make sure all of them are responded to. If you want access to the presentation and the full video, it's also going to be available on our YouTube channel and TikTok as well. So if you want to check that out, you can comfortably do so from wherever you are. And don't forget, if you need any help kind of coming up with your structures of man, what do we need to do? How do we take the next steps? How do we grow? I also help a ton of business. My job is to empower you guys do a better job. I like sales, and the more I can get people to thrive at sales, the more I feel like I have achieved my life's mission as a whole. So yes, that is when it comes to the world of B2B. Now, when it comes to the world of B2C, here is the best possible channel to pass in order to get the sales that you want. The trick is create enough opportunity for yourself. Now, let me just share my screen once more. All right. So when it comes to the world of B2C, there are a couple of channels. Honestly, if you're selling to small businesses or B2C or consumer products, truth be told, the best route to pass is the marketing route. But I don't want to give you a generic route. I want to tell you exactly what you need to be doing in order to achieve the targets. That's why the first thing I started with was the mathematics behind the sales process. Now, hypothetically, in order to get about 100 sales, let me say we are going to need 300 leads. Now, 300 leads means you need about 10 people a day. Honestly, 10 people a day is very possible. There are 2 ways you can acquire these 10 people. Even if you are single person within your company, here is how exactly you can go about acquiring these leads. Now, there are 2 channels. Channel number 1 is the paid channel. If you have some money, keep in mind that all you're doing is acquiring 10. So even the amount of money you have to spend to acquire 10 leads is honestly not that much. Averagely, if you're spending $2 to acquire a lead, that's going to be, for the 10 leads, that's just going to be $20, meaning most people can actually afford to spare that $20. I'm talking about Africa's context, not Europe, because the cost of leads acquisition is much better. So what you would say is, in order for me to get 100 sales, I need 300 people. 300 people. Now, of these 300 people, that means I need to get at least 10 people reaching out to me for my product on a day-to-day. Like I said, there are 2 channels, the paid channel and the free channel. So let me start with the paid channel. So if you have $20 to spare a day, you can say, I'm going to run Facebook ads. And keep in mind that a lead is someone who has just said, I'm interested in what you're doing. So they can come through by signing up on your website. They can come through even your DM. They come literally in your DM and say, tell me more about your product. I'm actually interested in what you're doing. That is what we consider as a leader. So There are some ads you can run even on Facebook itself and literally tell Facebook that, you know what, I want you to bring me people. I'm going to pay you my $20, but I need you to bring me $10. I mean 10 people. 10 people. By paying Facebook, Facebook always guarantees that they are now going to bring that 10 people. On average, they're going to give you about 10 people in your DM. So you've spent $20 and in your Instagram DM, don't use Facebook. Facebook, I tend to see much the quality of the leads is poor. Is poor. So preferably use Instagram. Even Google, its cost of leads is a bit high. I'm talking of a normal product. At the moment, okay, personally, I have seen a lot more better results on Instagram. So pay Instagram, and by paying Instagram, it's going to guarantee that you're going to get on average anywhere between 8 and 12 leads within a day. Now, by getting these 10 leads, people who have responded that, you know what, I've seen your show, I actually like it. We also don't anticipate to get all these people to pay us money. We'll say that of these 10, possibly we'll have anywhere around 5 or 7 giving us money. These other 3, we know that they are not going to convert. If anyway, okay, let's say between 4 and 6 should be in position to give us some money. But you have spent $20 and paid to Facebook. Their message ads whereby Facebook only takes your money after they have brought the people to you. So you've paid your $20, you've got 10 messages. Of the 10 messages, 5 people have paid you, or 6. Quantify and understand, after I have paid my $20 and I have got 10 people, and from these 10 people, I've got some 5 people paying me, how much revenue have I made out of these 5 people? You might be selling, if you're in, so for example, Uganda, where I am, you might be selling each of your products, say 100K. And of this 100K, you're making probably 50K profit. So 100. So even if you only make 5 sales, that's already 500,000 Uganda shillings worth of business. Now, deduct the $20 that you paid Facebook. Just consider it as a cost of acquisition of a lead. You'll notice that you're still making a sustainable, a good enough amount of business. You get it? And this works perfectly. As an example, if you're selling skincare, very easy product to sell. Literally run ads, and of the ads, get a certain number of people who are coming in. And of this number of people, say 10 people for this context, expect only 5 to give you money, but quantify the value, the amount of revenue you have made out of these 5 sales. And if it outweighs the amount of money that you've spent in acquiring the leads, it means it's a worthwhile investment. Now, the only trick about these Facebook ads, however, is you need to know how to structure them. Don't make the mistake of just running and going to that button, boost now, and click boost now and say my whole country, and don't actually get to understand how to run Facebook ads. I have a free video just taking you through how to run Facebook ads the right way. So if you want to make sure that you convert from your Facebook ads, before you do anything, before you rush and give your money to Facebook, there's a chance you could even fail to make any money back. Make sure you watch that video first and get to understand how that works before you deploy any Facebook ads. I'm saying Facebook ads, but I'm talking Facebook is Facebook, Instagram, all the WhatsApp, and all the platforms they own. So when I say message, a message could be you received a message on Instagram, or you received a message on Facebook, and yeah, that is the context I mean. So don't think that when I say Facebook, I only mean Facebook, the platform. I'm actually biased to using Facebook, the company that owns Instagram, to run ads on Instagram and WhatsApp. So that's how the B2B, the B2C side of things works. Don't forget this one component. Understand your mathematics first. You need 300 leads, meaning those are 10 people a day. So if you choose this route, just make sure you have enough money to cover you for that period. If it's a month, have the $600 and run ads and gauge the effectiveness of how much revenue and how many leads you would have got. Don't forget to keep checking on your analytics, because Facebook has this thing where they increase the price within the middle of the ads and you tend to get fewer impressions. So in case that happens, don't forget you have to switch it up. you have to change the kinds of ads that you're getting. But if you'd like to know more about these Facebook ads, I'm also available. You can reach out at any point in time. I would be in position to help you. Drop me a message on TikTok, drop me a message on Instagram, any platform. I usually tend to respond. And yeah, in a nutshell, that's how the paid side of things works. Now, the second bit is the organic side for the people that want to get free traffic. How is this done? For those of you that follow me, to be honest, I started doing my organic content about 6 weeks back, and as of right now, I'm getting about 30-40 messages a week, weekly. It has gone to show me that it's actually possible to still acquire people without necessarily having to spend money. But what does this call for? This calls for, number one, you need to put in the work. It's either the money or the work. You choose one of the routes to take. Now, for those that don't have a lot of money, here's what I'm going to recommend you do. At the moment, the thing that would get you the leads fastest, the 300 leads you're looking for in order to acquire 100 sales, the channel that is working best all over the internet is short form content. Meaning you're going to need to post things like TikToks, those things of a minute. Possible you dance a bit like this, but yes, meaning in a business context, or you're going to need to post on the YouTube Shorts, or you're going to need to post on Instagram Reels. All of those at the moment are performing well. Of course, I've been following my marketing ecosystem. This is beginning to change. They're starting to take a step back on short form content, meaning it's going to get tighter over the next couple of months. But as of right now, it's working extremely well. Meaning I have seen people I have talked to. Just yesterday, I told someone to begin posting on TikTok. And after posting her first 2 videos, she's in Nairobi, she was able to get her first sale just like that. Why? Is because now the social media companies are trying to fight against TikTok. So all of them are making sure they give us as much traffic as possible. So now here's what you need to do when you are talking and when you're using short form content. Like I said, in this scenario, we don't have the money to spend. So this is what exactly we do. All I'm going to request of you is first confirm. At the moment, you need to post a minimum of 3 videos a day. Why the 3? Is because that is what is going to give you enough reach in order to reach enough people to attract people to your business. Now, if you can do this consistently, even for just 1 month, the amount of traffic, the number of messages that you're going to get in is going to slowly increase. This honestly might not be able to reach the 300 leads per se, but it's going to begin making that milestone, because for it's a slow progressive rise. If you're at 0 right now, it might take a bit of time for you to get to the 300 leads. As an example, I started 6 weeks back, and as of right now, I'm getting about 120, 150 leads, meaning if you're looking for 300 leads, that would still not be enough. But the beauty about it is it's absolutely free. And the more you can push these short form content platforms with your content, talking about your services, talking about what problem you're trying to solve, the more exposure you're going to get. And what I've noticed is it works for everyone. Just the other day, one of my friends who's an accountant was assuring me how for their business, what's TikTok? After saying all those words, she went and did TikTok, posted just 3 videos, and similarly, she got a deal worth about $540. And I'm like, it's just because you may be biased on certain platforms, or for you feel like I can't post on TikTok, or I can't post on YouTube Shorts, how will people see me? It's preventing the opportunity that could have come from there from coming to you, because at the end of the day, marketing just dictates the more you put out yourself there, the more the opportunity you get back, because now people understand what you do, and you don't know where these platforms go. You may post a simple video, something as basic as this, and it gets to literally 4,000 people. Of the 4,000 people, you might get 6 people that reach out and said, you know what, I actually have a problem. I have a tax problem. What can I do? It's about either you have the money or you do the work. It's one of the two. Now, for this case scenario, if you're organic, the only platform I'm going to recommend for now, because the others tend to take a bit of time to mature. SEO takes a lot of time for us. We've done it. But for us to begin seeing results, it has taken about 2 years. Email does work well, but email requires you to have people's emails, which still needs you to have another feeder platform. That's why I'm recommending the short form content. And as a standard, don't post today and tomorrow ignore. No. I'm saying post today, post tomorrow, post the other day for 1 month, do it for 30 days and post at least 3 times a day. And on any platform it is, you're going to have got enough opportunity for you, for yourself. You get it? So by the way, if you have any questions, I'm still in the middle of presentations, but I'm going to still respond to them. I'm already seeing some coming off the webinar, some coming off TikTok and the likes. So I'm still going to respond to these at the end of the day. I'm seeing one question here. What do you think about data scrapping for B2B? Data scrapping for B2B, I'm just responding to some of these questions, is good, but the quality of data you get when it comes to the African region is not good. Yes, you'll get Google data, but if you're looking for small and medium-sized companies there, you might get relevant people. But when it now gets to the larger enterprises, you don't get as quality data. That's why we put together the Monkey Pesa prospecting tool that now gives you the decision makers of those organizations. And the platforms that you use to scrape data are also getting limited. As an example, you can try and scrape data off LinkedIn, but the moment they discover that you're doing it, they can block your LinkedIn account, and taking your LinkedIn account back to zero is not a good thing. You can scrape from Google, but all of them are doing these things. They are adding these restrictions and making it illegal. So yeah, that's it about data scraping. Another question someone is asking about sales from an individual reach perspective. Yeah, that's what I've just been talking about. If you're selling to individuals, the sales channel may not be the best channel for you. You might have to use the marketing route. The marketing route, like I have broken down, there are 2 things. It's either you're doing the paid side where you're paying Facebook and Facebook is just bringing you whoever you need. Because imagine this, you don't know who is interested in your shoes. If you're an individual, you're just going to start calling every number. It's a bit weird asking people if they need your shoes. It's a bit weird. That's what I'm saying. You might have to market. And from the context of what we've been talking about, the paid side, it's much easier. You pay Facebook and Facebook brings you people, or Google. Preferably Facebook if you have a B2C product. Facebook entails both Facebook, Instagram, and in some scenarios, WhatsApp. Then the other alternative is the organic. The organic, like I've said, in order to get the impressions you need, you just need to be consistent. Post every day, 3 times a day. And by doing that, you're still going to get people directly coming to you. Like an example, I personally post on average 2 to 5 times a day. And from those posts, every week I get 30, 40 people that are reaching out and saying, we need help. And keep in mind that my product is not mainstream, so it's just rare people that are interested in this. But if I am able to still get leads that are coming in, then if you have a product that works for the normal individual, then the reach will be outstanding. It will get to so many more people. All right, so don't forget, if you have any questions, you can still drop these in. Yeah, so the next section we're going to talk about is how do you manage scale, okay? Now someone else has asked a question, what if you have a product with very simple use case, but it's not possible to make 3 videos daily without being repetitive? Now, this is a very good question. Some people tend to think that when you're sharing videos, you're talking about your product. To be honest, people are not interested in knowing about your product most of the time. They're interested in knowing 2 things. Number 1, what problem are you solving? And they tend to relate of, I also have that problem. That's why you'll notice for us, we sell a CRM software, but how often do you hear me talking about CRM software marketing automation? I talk about the problem, I talk about sales, I talk about marketing. Reason being is by talking about some of the problems that people in sales and marketing face, I tend to attract people who have those issues because people relate with the problems they have. They don't relate with the product. So in this scenario, Austin, just try and yes, in once in a while post about your product, but more than in many instances, talk about the problem you have, talk about the solution, talk about the community, talk about the success stories. And if you use applications like ChatGPT, and the moment you type a problem like this and you say, this is the problem I want to talk about, give me topics to talk about, it will generate for you even 800 videos that you can do. But yes, with that alone, just talk about the problem and find a way of putting your product as a solution. Like that, it tends to give you a lot more longevity, and now you can have a ton of things that you're talking about. Yes, that's how to manage that, Austin. So don't focus on talking about the product, because the more you talk about the product, the more people kind of fall back. But talk about the problem. Talk about who is using your product. Talk about other things, and the product is just literally something you throw in a bit to get people to understand what you're doing a bit better. But yes, keep the questions coming for those that are on the webinar, and I'll be responding to those as we go ahead. Now, the next segment we have to talk about is how do you manage scale? Now, truth be told, I've talked about how you need 500 leads, how you need 1,000 leads, how you need 300 leads. Managing conversations with 500 people is a daunting task. I can attest to this. Because let me give you context. We call people every day. Every day, personally, I call about 30, 40 people. I'm not doing such a good job, but at least the people who are in sales, I know for them, they hit even 100 a day. Now, what happens is you talk to customer number one, and customer number one says, I'm not interested. So, okay. I talk to customer number two. Customer number two tells me, oh, this is interesting, but I'm not in the country. Can you give me a call on 18th of next month? Now, because I'm making so many phone calls, it's very easy for me to keep calling. And when 18th reaches, I even forget that I was supposed to call this prospective person. You get it? You'll talk to another guy, he'll say, let's have a meeting on 22nd. Now, it's important you now have systems in place to help you. Otherwise, you're never going to be able to manage scale. You're never possibly going to be able to do so. Why? Is like I said, just from the work you need to do in 1 month. From this context, if you've been following this video, you're going to notice you need to talk to 500, 800 people. You might be a team of two. Those are 400 people. And each person you talk to is going to give you a different angle. They're going to tell you something else. They're going to give you another call to action. They're going to tell you who else to talk to. Now, in order to be in position to manage all these conversations, you might need to get wherever these leads have come from. Say, for example, have come from Facebook. Say, for example, have come from Twitter. You're going to need a central platform. That is where CRM softwares come in handy. You need one central place. Allow me to just demo this for you for the guys on the webinar and for those on YouTube. Now, you're going to need a central platform that just helps you track what exactly is going down. As an example, if I made a phone call right now and someone says, send me a proposal, attach this other email on that proposal. The first thing I would do is I would go to my sales section and add a task and said, so and so Uganda Airlines has requested a proposal saying this and that and this, and here is who I need to attach it to. Why you need that central place is because the moment you begin doing sales, right, it's going to get overwhelmed. You're going to talk to so many people. Just from this conversation, you'll notice that even just talking to 10 people a day is a lot of work. Those are 50 people within the week. Those are 200 people, just you as an individual. So keeping on remembering what to do next is going to become a bit taxing. That's why I recommend that if you can, use something like this Monkey Pesa platform where, as an example, let me show you some of our live data. You're able to literally add details of, this is an example. Let me log into my actual account. I would know that, these are the next tasks I need to accomplish. I need to send this proposal. I need to call this guy on 27th. And the beauty of having such a system, on the day that message comes, as an example, if someone said, call me on 18th of next month, 18th, I might be busy with other things, but the system would still send me a text message, a WhatsApp, and an email reminding me, oh, do you know what? You needed to call Fred. You needed to remind him about this and this. And that's why it's important to have one system for you to be able to manage that scale. Additionally, you can kind of now have a trail and understand, in regards to this customer, what has happened, what has transpired. Are there any communications that we have had prior? What were those communications like? Has any of my other sales reps talked to these people? As an example, let me just use my own contact. I'm able to track what are some of the emails that have been sent out? What are some of the SMSs that have been sent out to this person? Are there any WhatsApp communications? Are there any deals in regards to this given customer? Any meetings that have been held? So that as a team, even if say one salesperson has gone off and now another sales rep has come to replace that person within the organization, at least they have a trail of what has been happening in regards to that customer's interaction with you. Now, people make a mistake and leave this data all over the place. It's on Facebook, it's on TikTok, it's on this. What if TikTok is blocked in your country? Does that mean that all the contacts you have there are going to remain there? You get it? So have this system brought into one central platform, use sales and marketing platform, and use that as a centralized database to kind of keep track. Otherwise, you remembering some of the things that you need to achieve is an impossible task. So without a system, you're never going to be able to manage the scale that you need. The beauty about the Monkey Pesa platform specifically, it even has what we call automations. As an example, may I get leads from Facebook every day. I get 100+ leads. I have to send communication to them. I want to send communication to them via email, via text. So as opposed to me manually sending a reminder to everyone, I get that whole list. Whenever a lead comes in from Facebook, automatically it's pushed into Monkey Pesa, and a trigger is the information is sent immediately without me hassling whatsoever. So that means I have the capability of managing even 2,000, even 5,000 people, just because I have a system that I can always refer to keep track of what activities are inside there, what meetings do I have, what deals am I following up on. Yeah, and it even does things for me. There's some times when I get a list of 1K people and I want to communicate with all of them for the next 4 weeks. So I get customer number 1, customer number 2, I add him, the system begins sending emails, SMSs, do you know what, why we're interested in working together. After 1 week, it sends another email saying, do you know what, please, did you see my last email? It's a system doing it for me. So one person, I'm comfortably hitting 1K, 2K people without any fail. And that's why by you being able to manage all these relationships, that's what increases your likelihood of succeeding. What makes people fail at sales is this one thing, not creating enough opportunity in order to generate the sales we want. That's why the first thing I started with is understanding the mathematics. Yes, you want 100 people, but you getting to 100 people is not just a matter of talking to 100 people. You need so many more people. So that the structure is just to understand how many do I need and how do I achieve these numbers in order for me to best get that the number that I'm looking for at the end of the day. So yes, that is how to go about managing scale. By the way, if you have any questions, still keep dropping them right here. I'm still going to respond. For those that are on TikTok, I'll respond after the conversation is done. And yeah, for those that are on the webinar, I'll respond to those as they come. Now, another important section we need to address is Another important section we need to understand is the analytics. Analytics are a very crucial part, because whenever you start doing things, as an example, if you're doing organic outreach, you need to understand what is working. Now, the number one mistake that most people do is they do this one thing. They only want to track how many impressions have I got, how many likes have I got. But those are vain metrics. Those are vain metrics. Personally, I have channels that have 100 followers and I'm getting 100 messages. So don't focus on such vain metrics. Here's what you need to track. Number one, you need to understand, yes, I am running this budget, but number one, how many leads am I acquiring? Number two, what's the cost of me acquiring each lead? So as an example, if you're doing the paid side, of these leads that I have acquired, how many of them have deals? How many of them have translated into some kind of engagement, interest in purchasing one of my products? And number four, of those ones who have showed interest, how many have eventually been able to purchase a product? So those are the four core metrics that you're going to track. I don't care about followers. I don't care about this. We're talking about how to generate sales. So meaning we track what's most important to us. If you're on the organic side, begin to understand, this week I have posted, how many videos have I been able to post? Of those videos that I have posted, how many impressions have I got? Because now you're going organic. That's where the impressions comes in. You notice with the paid, I didn't track impressions. But with this, you need to track how many impressions those are. Of these impressions, how many messages have I been able to get? Don't even track it on a month, track it on a week per week basis. There's a document I usually share out to some of the people that I work with. Let me maybe share my screen so that I show you what that looks like. So that when you're now tracking what you're doing organically, you understand that here is what makes sense to me. I usually share a document like this. Let me, just so we are able to track. Okay, something of that sort. Where you are tracking, number one, what are the number of views that we've been able to get on a week per week basis. Number two, how much growth have we been able to witness? This is if you're doing organic outreach. Now, most importantly is how many messages are you getting? Keep in mind that you're not posting just to post. When you're posting, you have intent. You're telling people, if you're interested in this and this, please reach out. Don't just post a plain video talking about what you do. No. Say, you know what? This is the problem we're talking about. As an example, if you have acne, some of the problems that could be causing you acne are this, and this. But if you need a solution, drop me a DM. I think I have a solution for you. That's an example of how you could do that. Now, from that, quantify and see how many messages have come in. You could track per platform that, you know what, these are the number of messages that have come in from TikTok. These are the number of messages that have come in from Instagram Reels. And most importantly, you could use something like the Monkey Pesa platform just to understand, you know what, here is how many deals I've been able to solicit. These are the sources of the deals that have come in. As an example, a deal might have come in from LinkedIn, might have come in from Baidu, it might have come in from Google. So track that so that you're tracking the journey of where have people come from. And of these people, how many deals have we been able to win? How many have we lost? Because you also need to understand what has failed and what has worked. Because there are going to be scenarios where in your head you love Instagram a lot, but when you get leads from Instagram and you try to track that trail and see, I've got 10 leads from Instagram so far, but of these 10 leads, only 2 have converted, whereas I've got 7 leads from TikTok, and of these 7 leads, 5 have converted. That data alone just goes to show you that this is where I might need to put more focus. Now, the beauty about having a CRM, an additional value, is it kind of just helps you drag and understand what's happening. Like I said, your money comes from the sales and marketing and customer support department. So do not compromise on understanding to the dot what is happening. Because the internet gives you so much, but the job of such platforms is to kind of break it down. But you shared on Reddit, but this is the impact of what Reddit has done for you. You shared on Quora, this is what it has done. TikTok is number 2. This and this, so it gives you a lot more context and clarity of, okay, here's what's working, or here is who is working, here's how many meetings we're having, and a lot more. So you not tracking any metrics is like a chicken without a head just running. You go it. And the worst bit about such situations, in your head you feel like you are doing a lot of work, but it's until you calm down and begin understanding some of these analytics that you will get a lot more clarity on where should we double down. Because you're going to run ads, and you run ads on maybe Google and Facebook. And each of these you will need to quantify the value that has come out. And without you tracking some of those, you may never be able. And most people honestly don't even know how to track those analytics. So just get a platform like the Monkey Pesa CRM that is going to track everything for you and display it for you in simple dashboards that make the most sense to your brand overall. So yes, for those, just as a final segment, if you have the Monkey Pesa CRM, I'm sure you're aware about our joint inbox. The joint inbox is like a centralized place where we bring in all communication, whereby if the customer is coming from Gmail, whether they're coming from Twitter, whether they're coming from Facebook, whether they're coming from here, we kind of bring it all together in one place so that you're able to respond to any queries from right here. As an example, you can see there's still people that are signing up for the webinar. So you're able to respond to those queries, and from one central place. It's really ideal for larger corporations. You have a team of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sales reps, and you want each of them to access all your information in a single place. Most importantly, we also help you track those analytics so that you're tracking messages, as an example, coming in. So how many messages have come in, from which platforms, how many of those messages have resulted into deals, and of those deals, how many have been closed and won, how many of them have been closed and lost, so that you have a lot more clarity and direction on how that would be of impact to your business overall. So yes, in a nutshell, that's how you go about acquiring your next 100 leads, your next 100 sales. If you have any questions, I'm taking whatever questions you have and responding to those right now. But that's it from me today. And this video is going to be available on Twitter. So if you, I mean, it's going to be available on YouTube. So if you want to watch that, literally just go and check it out. It will be available in the next couple of minutes. You can as well follow up with that. But in the meantime, I'll be taking up questions and responding to them here, YouTube, and wherever this is from. And that's all from me, folks, for now. Let me await your questions. If there are none, I will close this within the next 5 minutes. Okay, so talk about one of those questions that has come in is talk about pharmacy sales. Now, we're fortunate enough that even right now we are working with a couple of pharmacies. At the moment, we're working with EcoPharm. EcoPharm has 20 outlets. We're working with quite a number of them. The one that comes off my mind that I personally worked on is EcoPharm. It has 20 outlets here in Uganda. Now, what you need to understand about pharmacy sales is you tend to get the information I picked up so far is there are two sides of the coin. Coin number one is the first side of the coin is you tend to get more sales coming in from recurring customers, meaning people who keep coming back. Now, what your job is at least I'm giving context based on what EcoPharm's journey has been like. Start collecting information about some of these people that are coming in, because you're going to get a customer who is coming in for HIV treatment. You're going to get a customer who is coming in for pressure medication. So what you do is begin collecting some of their information, get their phone numbers, get their emails, get whatever information you can get, and begin doing things as basic as sending reminders of, you know what, your medication is almost due. This is a kind reminder to just let you know that your medication should be done within the next 2 days. If you'd like us to deliver for you more medication, please go ahead and give us a call on this number. We should be in position to send you some medication. That's use case number one. There are scenarios like even reminding customers, you know what, last time you got treatment for only 2 weeks, but you need your more medication over the next 2 weeks. So please call this number. We are able to deliver. Like I said, create a customer relationship. The thing with their pharmacies is that in Africa mostly, they've been made so traditional. So they're not trying to tap into the power of that digital sphere. Whereas if you were to look at the numbers overall, even in downtown, you'll notice that back then, downtown shops used to get 100 people coming in a day. But post-COVID, right now they're barely making 30, 40 sales. Whereas if you're to look at online, back then the sales were 0. But right now, everyone just wakes up and says, do you know what? I need this delivered. So there are companies like Guardian Pharmacy that are literally going all out on online. So you as a pharmacy need to begin saying, now, how do I begin tapping into some of this data? How do I begin playing a role in empowering my online sales grow? Because if you're to wait for this trajectory over the next 10 years, you're going to find yourself in a position where you're now struggling for market share because people are now going to be more comfortable having their medicine delivered home. As an example, even for my own children, I always call and they immunize from here. I need medication, come. In literally 20 minutes, they would be here, which is the same as me going to whatever location. So when it comes to the pharmaceutical space, find a way of making sure that you have system in place that can kind of help you keep those customer relationships, because just by you sending someone a reminder of when they need to take their next medication, which is due in 2 days, what does that do? The person says, oh, these guys care about me, so naturally they're going to want to come back to you and they're going to place their order with you because you may be the only one that is doing that for them. So yes, that's option number one. But when it comes to acquiring new customers, to be honest, the pharmaceutical space kind of struggles because your ads are restricted. No one allows you to just go and advertise. So you have to find a way of scaling it and making sure that you have strength when it comes to maintaining the customer relationships. Because the option of you running ads may not be there because in most scenarios, they're not allowed to run pharmaceutical ads online. Yes. Yeah. Another question I see here is, does MonkeyPesa work well with third-party softwares? Yes, MonkeyPesa works well with third-party softwares. At the moment, keep in mind that we're working with banks, we're working with airlines, we're working with other tech companies. And whenever you're working with these people, you're going to find scenarios where these people are saying, do you know what? As an example, we are a bank. We have this system that we're already using. And in order for us to get better effectiveness, we want the two systems to communicate. So in such scenarios, we either integrate with their systems and have data moving from whatever systems into ours, or we provide our third-party API, which anyone can plug into, and they begin tracking whatever information they want to track, adding whatever activities they want to add. That's number two. We're also working on a Zapier integration. The Zapier integration will just give us access to a ton of other integrations, about 5,000 integrations, all at a single instance. So we're really open and learning and evolving depending on what the needs for the African market are. So yes, we work well with other third-party softwares. Does MonkeyPesa track activities of sales? Yes, let me show you what that looks like. Now, sales are deals, and according to CRM language. Now, when you have several deals, there is what they call a pipeline, a sales pipeline. Now, under this sales pipeline, you track stages of where are we in regards to this sale. Remember, you could be in the world of B2B. When you're in B2B, you might have had the initial meeting. So the next phase is you're bringing in the decision maker. The next phase is follow up. So if you can see my screen, you can actually track and see where are we on this phase, depending on this given sale. So we keep also populating more and more data for you, just to give you context of how long has each of these processes taken you, so that you understand what is our average cycle of a cell, how long are we taking with any given cell. It's very important to have such information, because if you're in B2B, for us as an example, we understand that our average sale for the enterprise customer takes 6 weeks. So you don't get frustrated when you're on week number 2 and saying, my sale has not yet come through, because we now have the data to help us validate how long it takes. So yes, in a nutshell, we track that. That's number one. Then number 2, we also help you track analytics of what's happening inside sales, meaning how many deals have been created, what's the value of those deals, how many deals has each of your employees created, what are the sources of those deals, how many have been lost. We even have a pipeline just showing you at each of the stages of the pipeline how many deals are there. So we try and dive really deep into understanding the pipeline. And the beauty is this is continuously improving. We're adding a lot more value metrics, but all the metrics are interrelated around starting from what marketing led to this deal, and of these deals, how far are they? Are there any activities under them? What are those activities? Number 3, have they been converted or not? Number 4 is we eventually help you understand what is customer support doing and what role are they playing towards helping you retain that customer. So that is the trio we're looking at achieving. All right. What's the pricing? Monkey Pesos packages. If you're a startup, the smallest package we have is $19 per user. For the mid-sized companies, we have a package of about $49. And for the large enterprises, it's $99 per employee that you onboard onto the system. Yes, you pay based on the numbers, but we made that exclusively simple. The way we did it, we just broke it up in terms of if you have less than 5K contacts, pay $19. If you have less than 100,000 contacts, pay $50. But anything over that, that's when you pay $99. The cap is at $99. Okay, so can I track recently browsed leads, abandoned carts, and etc.? Yes, we have an open API which we can give you, and once you embed that API, you're able to track who are these leads, when was their last activity with you. We also put a cookie to keep tracking that user's activity across in whatever platforms that person is using, so that we now help you gather that data. And most importantly, if you have some automations running, things like abandoned cart automation journeys, it can even trigger those on your behalf without you doing any other activity. So yes, those are all the questions I have from the webinar itself. I'll be here for a couple more minutes, so I'm still open. So just hit me up in case you have any other questions. I'm going to be in position to respond to that. Let me also check out TikTok. So some questions. Okay, someone is saying, can we ask questions after the session? Yes, you can. Someone is saying, thank you, Ken, for the good work. I appreciate the comments. Someone is saying, I've dropped you a DM. Okay, I'm going to respond to that, but only after this conversation. Okay, so I'll give it 1 more minute, and if we don't have any more questions, I will call that a day and proceed. But thank you all for attending. I see the number of attendees. And don't forget, I keep sharing a ton of content on sales, marketing, and customer support. And mine are mostly actionable. I'm not a bullshit. If you want to get 100 sales, what do you need to do, and what quality control do you have in place to make sure that is being achieved? I also have a group where I have several business owners, and we're just holding each other accountable, saying, man, if we set out to achieve this, are we actually achieving this? And just look at it as having someone who can hold you accountable and make sure that if you set out to achieve something, at least you're working and there's a person who's still querying and a team to keep everyone in sync. So yes, if you'd like to join that group, you can literally just leave your number right here. I'll put in a WhatsApp group, and it has a few people now. I just started that recently, but it's quickly growing. So if there is need for that, you can as well join that group as well. But in the meantime, that's it from me. If you don't have any queries, I'm going to be shutting this down over the next couple of seconds. I'm waiting for the next. If anyone wants to join our group, to leave that comment. Okay, don't forget to add your country code, because communications are from different countries. The attendees are from different companies. I mean, different countries, so I may not know which country you're from. Okay. 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 So for those on TikTok, bye bye for now. Yeah. For those on the webinar. For those on the webinar, I'm adding this number. Don't forget to help me add your names as well to the number. Okay, so Hamza has a question. Maybe let me let you talk. All right, so Hamza, I've let you in. You can leave whatever question you have here. Hamza? Hamza? Hamza is still muted. Yeah, you need to activate to unmute yourself in order to be able to ask a question.
Yes. Hi, Kenneth. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Just enjoyed the session.
Yeah,
Thank you very much for the information shared. Very, very resourceful.
You're welcome.
The payment for Makipesa is annually, monthly?
It's monthly.
What is the time frame? It's monthly.
It's monthly or annually, depending on what you want.
All right, that was my question. I shared my contacts. I would like to join the group as well.
Okay. I'm going to add everyone that has left their number onto the group. Just make sure you leave the name so that I don't get confused.
Kale, thank you.
All right, so. Okay, so I'm getting all these numbers. Then I will end the session as soon as that is done. One, two, 4, 2, 5, 1, 8, 9, 3, 4, 2, 5, 1. And where was a crit? 758083307. And 011 09 38 28. So just one more question from Nenji. Does the tool allow direct phone calls? We recently partnered with MTN, then MTN in Uganda, Safaricom in Kenya, MTN Rwanda, Vodacom in South Africa, and a couple of the other telcos across the African continent. So right in the dashboard, on the customer's profile, we're adding a button to facilitate calling, direct calling into phone calls. The beauty of what we're doing is once that call is made, we record the whole conversation and store it on the customer's profile. That way, if say you're a sales manager and you have a team, you're able to keep track of what each of them are saying directly in the conversation. So that will be live starting by the end of next month. That's our plan. Can we create our own processes? At the moment, the only way to create your own processes is via the automation feature. But what we're doing is we're expanding the customizations. As an example, for the deal pipeline, we are enabling you to create your own pipelines and stuff like that. Then under processes, under the automations, you're allowed to say, you know what, I want to make this email now to this given list. Then after sending that email, send this SMS. After sending this SMS, wait a period of 6 days, then send another email. And the beauty about this is we're almost done integrating Facebook, WhatsApp as well. So you'll be able to send emails, SMSs, and WhatsApps, and it will happen right freely within the platform. The most important thing is we're building this with African businesses and for African businesses in mind. So we're bringing the power of some of the most powerful tools that you'd have found out there, things like HubSpot, things like Salesforce, and making sure all the tools are available to you at literally a tenth of the price. And most importantly is we're integrating the African work ecosystem. There are things like on Salesforce, you can't send SMSs to Africa. And for some of them, if I can show you some of them, let me just share my screen here for you. Some of the tools they have, as an example, if I just search for sales, the pricing of Salesforce, you'll notice that if, say, for example, I check the data cloud for marketing alone, it's going to cost you about $108,000. Most of the time, it's really not going to be price friendly at all. This is the marketing cloud engagement. It starts from $1,200, $500, that is per person, and it's billed annually. So it's the tools they have are powerful, but they're really out of touch with the African market. So what we're saying is, how do we customize this for Africa first? And how do we provide whatever tools they have at a fraction of the price, just so we can empower teams in Africa deliver exceptional results as well? So yes, most importantly is we're building is at the moment. I've seen another question here. Is there any hope of adding billing features? We're adding, based on clients' demands, there are a couple of things we're adding. Number one, we're adding the ability for you to add invoices and quotations. We didn't have it in our plans at first, but we've had literally about 40 customers request for it, so we're adding that. And once we have that, we're also going to enable payments. Once you issue out an invoice, you can now embed a payment option and be able to collect payments from anywhere across Africa or the rest of the world. So that is the billing option that we have. That is what we wanted to add onto the platform as of the next couple of months. We hope most of these core features we want to put to life will be done by the end of July, because we have things like forms coming up. We have things like social media management. We have a couple of things that are coming up. I could share our plan of what we have over the next couple of months coming in. But by the end of this year, there's not going to be a platform similar as powerful as this in Africa and beyond. And at the price point at which we're providing, it's literally built for you. And most importantly, integrated into the way Africa works, where your SMSs work, where your phone calls work, where you're able to send to whatever platforms you use on a day-to-day. That is what we're building at our core. But yes, the billing feature is coming alongside with invoicing and quotations. That is set for after next month. That's when we want to have that integrated. Okay, so I'm seeing Moiva has raised a hand. I don't know if he's still here, but let me allow him. So you can ask any questions that you have. Criton. Hi, Criton. Yes, yes, yes.
Good morning.
Good morning. So how are you?
I'm doing well. I would like to know whether in future you have the plans of integrating the API on other websites, such that we can also track using this very platform on our websites.
Okay, so at the moment that is actually already active. We have an open API. I could share with you a link to the open APIs. You can embed that and begin tracking your users' experience and setting automations based around the integration that has been made. Like I said, that is already live. All I have to do is just send you the API, and as long as your developers can have it integrated, it would begin working relatively instantly.
Then another thing
Okay.
is about email, allowing email in the joint inbox. On the
Okay.
user's end, saying
Okay.
the email, to add an email feature in the joint inbox on the user's end, I've seen it only accepts when you go an extra mile or into advanced option of setting. I don't know how best can that be simplified such that we can always get direct access. Once you click on add email, it should take you direct to email, not just pass to go through advanced options. I guess in some sort it is hindering so many
I get. So
from adding that feature.
at the moment, let me actually show you where we are in conversations with Google. Now we've been doing a bit of back and forth with Google just so we can activate that. You know, there are certain standards they want you to abide by. So over the past couple of months, as you can see, we've been in talks. So we've eventually reached the final conclusion whereby on their API, there's one of the fields that they no longer want us to hit, which is Gmail/modify, and focus only exclusively on these three. So that is being implemented this week, but over the last about 4 months, we've just been in back and forth, where at the tail end of getting done with their approval and paying whatever amount of money they needed we needed to pay them in order for them to receive that. So by the end of next week, that will no longer be an issue. We would also be done with the Facebook integration, because Facebook is giving us Instagram. Instagram, as you can see, in our test environment, we have Instagram, we have Facebook itself, and WhatsApp is also being added. But just because of that back and forth, it's what has delayed us making them available to the public. As you can see, at the moment, you see, you can literally connect Facebook like right here, which is not yet the other side, but that's because of the back and forth and the politics that have to be partaken in order to get that approval. But yes, we are at the tail end for both Google and Facebook. Google, we started when we had almost 60 queries, but from the 60 queries, we only left with one more query. And hopefully this weekend we'll have it done. And during the course of next week, you will no longer be seeing that option. Huh?
Yeah, exactly. That is one of the feature that I guess is hindering so many people, since most of the clients they don't have that technical skill in when it comes to computer.
I guess no, that will be rectified by the end of next week. It should be okay. And additionally, a couple of things we didn't show. We have even the ability to send like emails to a ton of people, email campaigns. We have the ability to send out SMS campaigns to so many people. We have forms that are coming. We have social media. So ideally, we're looking at this as an all-round tool for your sales, marketing, and customer support. So everything you need for your sales, marketing, and customer support should be under one umbrella and at one good price for your product. So yeah, we understand that there are a ton of things that need to be built. So we are going through that journey of putting everything we need to life.
Okay.
Yes.
Then another thing I would like to understand.
Yes.
There are any plans of including the tracking to be able to track especially our emails, such that we can be informed whether the email that has been delivered has been viewed or not.
Okay. So Now, what we have at the moment, we just switched our email infrastructure into Amazon literally last week. So the core platforms they gave us were ability to track deliverability and notes. And if you come here to the analytics, you will see that it will show you these two. But additionally, they also give us access to now ability to track if an email has been opened or it has not been opened. So it has been actually completed in the back end. It's just the front end people that are going to help you visualize it now. And this will be available by the middle of next week. So you'll see the emails that have been sent, what has been delivered, what has failed, what has been opened, and what has not been opened, alongside any other analytics we have. And like I said, the beauty about what we're doing is we're developing it with you guys in mind. So we're really open to feedback and saying, what do we need? As an example, working with a couple of banks like here locally. So depending on what their needs are, we're saying, okay, now let's adjust and let's add this, because we're not building this for us. So we're saying, man, you guys need this. So let's add it so that they have no reason as to why they should need to rely on 10 different platforms just to do their work. Yeah. So for the open and closed, it's already in the back end. It's just exposure here to the front end. Once that is done, I can send you a notification and you check that out. But it is already embedded, already tracking that data in the background.
Well, I would like to give you a vote of thanks to
Okay.
the team of Monkey Pace and everyone behind you. You're doing a great job, and I encourage everyone to use your platform.
Okay, thank you very much, Kriton. We just need a few more users, so anyone else you can send our direction. Would really be grateful. All right, I think that's it. Let me check if there are any more questions. Someone has said adding the quotation feature would be amazing. That is already in the pipeline as well. It's intended to be, people had already complained about it, so we didn't know people needed it, but they did. So that is going to be available. Okay, yeah, yes, we have a pitch deck. I could send that to you. And the beauty is once you refer some customers to us, we usually have what they call a recurring, we share the revenue. It's usually we take 70, you take 30% of everyone that you bring. So hypothetically, if you bring, say, for example, a bank or whatever institution it is, or a hospital, it doesn't matter, and they have maybe 3 accounts or 4 accounts and paying $50 each, that's $200. Of that $200, you take 30%, which is about $60. And the beauty is you take every month, we still pay. We pay as long as they have paid, we pay you as well. Now, if you're in Nigeria, we also accept payments via card, via online banking. If you're in Kenya, we accept payments using M-Pesa. If you're in Cameroon, we accept mobile money. So once the payment comes in, automatically we just send to you. It will be settled in your bank account usually within about 2 days from the time the payment is made, depending on the channel that has been used to pay. If it's mobile money, it's same day. They pay today. By the end of the day, you get your 30%. So Benji, I can share with you some more details. I'll share with you some details, and you're able to track. You're able to share that with your network and see if it's something that is relevant to them. But like I said, we're building the best possible platform for sales and marketing in Africa, hands down. Nothing else. No one else is thinking in the direction we're thinking. And most importantly, we're not building it as technology, but rather as a tool to empower you to do your sales marketing better. The tech is just subsidiary. First, get the job done. Then tech is secondary. Yeah, okay. I'm guessing the questions are done. That was the last question from Nenji.
Kenneth, something small I would like you to shed on
Okay.
light on. I would like to understand briefly about the referral system we have talked about.
Yes.
How can I use the system to track to make sure that you get to know, and as well on the user's end, I can get to know that I've referred the client B and
Okay.
these
So
are
now,
the number of people I've referred.
okay. Now, the beauty of what we are doing. Can you still see my screen? So as part of what we are doing, we are building a referral system. Now, this referral system is going to be used in two instances. It's going to be used by us on our own referrals, but even your business can use it among its own referrals. Let me just show you some of what, so that you get to understand what I'm talking about. Referral. As you can see, this is how our referral system is going to work. We're first of all building it as a tool we can use, but also making sure all businesses that are using Monkey Pesa can still use it as their referral tracking engine. Now, on this referral tracking engine, you'll be able to create referral links for each and every one of the people that have shared. Customers, you'd be able to let people withdraw money via PayPal or mobile money and bank. You'll be able to see how many approved referrals each person has made and what their current balance is. This is now the automated version right now, and you'd still of course be able to track how much you've made in terms of commissions and the referrals you have made and what the details of those referrals are. Yeah, this is now the automated version that is being built as part of Monkey Pesa. But as of right now, we are doing it manually. You literally just bring us a person and say, you know what, here is my guy. You guys engage him and see. So we talk to him and lead him through the whole process until he becomes a customer. Then every month they pay. We are doing it manually. We just continuously keep settling you out and keeping you updated on any payments as of right now. So, but once this is done as well, it will at least transition it to become a more automated version of what we are currently doing. But at the moment, we still give you a referral link. The referral link will generate it from our system, and we would know any traffic that has come from you. That is manually. I mean, for the automated side of things. Then the rest we track manually for now. Once this is done, that's when we'll now make it as automated as possible. And you can now share us on social media, and everyone who clicks, we would know that it's you that has led them to us without any hassle. Okay, guys, let me see if there are any more questions. Yes, Nenji, how do you get the referral system? Is it something coming up? Okay, this is Emmanuel asking. Now, at the moment, we're only getting people who are referring businesses to us. And to be honest, we're doing it manually. We have a couple of people who refer customers, even from Nigeria and Kenya and the like. So all they do is introduce the customers that they want us to close to us. And we do the selling, we do the follow-up, we do everything. And all we do is every month, as long as this person is still a customer, we just keep sending your commission. At the moment, it's being done manually. But as part of the tools we're building inside Monkey Pesa, under the marketing tools, we're going to have just a tab here called a referral system. Now, this referral system is like another feature, just like you would have email marketing. I was showing you guys the images right inside here. These images, that's what it's going to look like. This is an actual onboarding of what it's going to look like. Now, this is what will take it automatic and make sure that, first of all, if you want to refer customers to Monkey Pesa, you can. But even if you have another brand, say you work for a company like Wave Mobile Money, and Wave Mobile Money has a partner referral ecosystem, they can still use MangiPesa, have the Wave Media Mobile Money link inside here, and give each and every one of the people that want to refer customers to them that link, and they were able to track for you all those analytics, how many people have come, who referred these people, how many have signed up, like that. There's a ton of information that we will be able to track with it. So once we've deployed it for everyone, even we will begin using it, but I have to just help with the automation. But for now, we are doing it manually. Just reach out to me. We have a ton of phone numbers. I could share some of those right here. So if you have anyone you would want to refer, just literally hit us up and say, you know what, let's begin talking to this guy. Here is their number, here is this contact. So we'll take it up from there and keep you updated until that is fully done. So yeah, at the moment we take referrals, it's just manual, and we pay 30% every month that any person you have referred pays. So we just send your 30%, whether it's to your bank account. We have so many integrations across Africa. So whether in Cameroon, whether in Zimbabwe, whether in Ghana, we would even pay you direct on your mobile money. So the person pays, and we pay out. So yeah. Like I said, the automation of the referral system is not coming up until next month. From the moment, if you want to refer anyone, just let me drop my phone number here. You could use that to let me know if you have any people that you want to refer to us. So this is my work number. Okay, so I see Nenji has a question. Yes, Nenji. I've just let you in.
Hi, Kenneth.
Yes, Nenji, how are you?
Yeah, great. Thank you very much for the awesome presentation. And I actually learned a lot.
Okay, that's good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. So my question is, so I just need to send in their contact information, and then you get to initiate the conversation and then follow up.
Yes. Honestly, that is how we are working. We have almost 16 people who are referring customers. Some of them are from Kenya. They literally wake up and said, you know what, I have talked to so and so. They're interested. Please engage them. Schedule a demo and do whatever. So we do a lot of the sales. And help you. I can still send you a couple of resources you can use to share when you're, of course, doing that initial conversation. But after that initial conversation is done, you can literally just send them our way, and we will talk to them, onboard them, and do everything until the point of payment. Even when we're following up with payments, we still do it ourselves so that you don't hassle on your side. All you do is refer, and every month we keep remitting 30%. If you can get a customer that pays, honestly, our average customer pays about $240 because we're mostly serving mid-sized and large enterprises. So for the normal guy, you would be making about $60-70 per referral. So if you have 20, that is a bit of money that you're making. Yeah, and at the moment, we have referrals from Nigeria, we have referrals from Kenya, we have one from Turkey, one from Brazil. There are quite a number. So yeah.
Awesome.
Okay. I've shared my number right here. So you can get that and or send me a message at any point in time on WhatsApp. I'll be able to respond appropriately.
All right, so thank you very much.
All right. All right, guys. I think that is it. I don't see any more questions. I appreciate you all for attending and participating. I'll keep sharing. If you need any help in regards to sales and marketing, I've worked with a ton of people. I know what exactly you need to do in order to grow your sales. And my things are mostly realistic. I'm not trying to lie to you. I'm not trying to make any money from you. I'm not interested. So my job is just to empower you get better results. So at any point in time, my number is right here. Hit me up. For those that I'll be putting in the group, send any message and we will resolve it. I've done it so long, it's just part of me now. So I share as much knowledge as I can. So yes, but that's it from me today. And thank you for everyone that has attended. That's all from me, folks. Bye-bye.